Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Oceans. Just Oceans. It's from DisneyNature. It's a documentary, obviously. It is from 2009. It's an hour and 24 minutes long, and it is... I've seen a lot of documentaries about the ocean, the creatures in the ocean, the conservation of the ocean, the destruction of the ocean, the stuff that's sitting at the bottom of the ocean. I've seen a lot of ocean stuff. There's a lot on National Geographic through Disney Plus, but of course Disney has their own stuff as well. This is possibly one of the most beautiful, and considering how old it is, I realize 2009 isn't a long time ago, but it's still, imagine them making this again today with today's technology, the higher quality cameras and everything else. 2009 they weren't slacking when it came to the cameras and the footage they got. But man, can you imagine how it would look today? Just looking at this right now, it's breathtaking. And sometimes it's beautiful, and other times it's terrifying. Some of the footage that they capture throughout this, it's hard to explain. Now, I will tell you one thing. I was very tired and I fell asleep. I didn't fall asleep while watching it. I just sort of went, I'm tired now. I'm really relaxed. I think I'm just going to pause. And then I took a nap. And I came back from the nap and I watched the rest of it, and it was hard to tear my eyes away from it. It's very relaxing in many ways. This is not your normal super educational. It's like, well, sharks can grow up to be 10 feet long, and then their adversary is this and that, the other thing. It's like, it's not a dump of information at all. This is more about philosophical, aesthetic. I don't know. It's more about just the why and what is the ocean, how it came to be, kind of thing. There's very little science. It's more about the living creature that is the ocean in many ways. And it's comprised of so many trillions of elements. You've heard, I've probably done it, how people compare the ocean to literally like another final frontier. It's an alien world. It does look like when they go down there, these astronauts underwater, where men cannot breathe. You have to understand that some of these guys are just floating around there in cameras and wetsuits, and they can't go to the deeper depths where some creatures they cannot come in contact with. There's still unexplored face-to-face depths of the ocean that we can't even understand. The creatures we can't even understand. It's truly unsettling just how much we don't understand. And when we see this, when I see all this stuff, these fish, I've seen all these documentaries before. I've seen stuff I've never seen before in this documentary. I've seen fish that I've never seen before. I've seen these creatures behave in ways I've never seen in any other documentary. If you're at all interested in undersea life, if you're interested in sharing with kids just what it is under the sea, under the ocean, and get a really real look at these things, that is it's mesmerizing. This is the thing to show them. Yeah, it seems a little long for an hour and 24 minutes or so, but you can break it up into chunks. They do that in a certain degree when it comes to, they go to different ocean to different ocean. They go all around the world, everywhere around the world. They're mostly always all focused on the creatures in each of those areas, whether it's the blue whale, the massive blue whale, the sharks, of course, the crabs, the spider crabs, the spider crab battle. Holy cow, I've never seen anything like that before. That's one of the scariest parts. There's another ocean, in a sense, of crabs just coming together. And just, some of them seem like they're not even like they're on top of other crabs. They're just being carried along with the wave of crabs. And you get later on in the film, at the very end, during the credits, as DisneyNature often does, they show the behind the scenes, in a sense, of the cameramen working and interacting with the creatures themselves. You see the penguins or bears or things like that, and you could hear them laughing or talking or bloopers and things like that. There's no room for bloopers down there, and you never get to see their faces, really. The only faces you see in this entire thing are a bunch of children running up to the edge of a cliffside overlooking the sea, and that's it. That's the only human faces you see throughout this. But you see these guys interacting with creatures that you just can't understand exist on this planet. I can't walk outside and see these creatures walking. I can't go to the woods or the desert and just go, oh yeah, I saw that on the documentary. That was just a thing that's just, we see them everywhere, like dogs. No, there's some creatures that probably shouldn't exist anymore. There's some that, despite everything we've done to destroy the oceans and the creatures that live within it, fishing them to death, and raising the temperature of the water as everything melts, yeah, there are some creatures that still exist. And there's a little joke that the narrator, who is Pierce Brosnan, James Bond himself, Pierce Brosnan, which also just the silkiness of his voice along with the footage really does put you in a relaxed state. It's what I was like, okay, I'm just going to go take a nap, and then I'm going to come back and get dinner, and maybe I'll just be a bit more peppy. Well, we'll see. I feel fine. But between Pierce Brosnan's recitation of the narration throughout this thing, you get this, it just feels cool. It just feels great. And, I mean, when you kick off the film with something like this is like a marine iguana. This is Godzilla, by the way. This is one of the first creatures you see in the film, the very beginning. And honestly, take a look at his ridging in the back and everything else. You tell me that this guy wasn't at least partially responsible for the look of Godzilla. Shape of his head and everything. Well, certain versions of Godzilla, but seriously, yeah. I highly recommend this, as when it comes to documentaries, when it comes to just witnessing and seeing undersea life that you've never seen before. Stuff I have never seen before. I don't think I've seen like the ribbon eel. Holy cow, that thing's freaky. It's just, and then just some of the shots they get. Some of the shots of just, do you want to know what it's like to be inside a cloud of krill about to be swallowed by a whale? Well, you kind of get that feeling, because there's shots where they're within this massive krill. You see the swimming, swirling torrent of tuna, tuna inside a net that are being almost fished to death. And then you also see the more tragic footage of other creatures caught up in those nets that weren't meant to be there. None of them were really meant to be there, but they're just left to die. And this is footage they're getting, real footage they're getting. It's not like, I don't know what they were doing in the sense of like, don't do that. I don't think they were in a place to do that. They were filming the footage. They did not show the faces of the men who were doing it. But, yeah. You get to see man's hand in a lot of this. When men do show up eventually in the film, you get to see man's hand in so much. Whether it's a sea lion swimming around a shopping cart at the bottom of the ocean, which is, I wanted to screen capture. I know Disney has certain things in place to keep you from screen capturing certain things, but man, I really wanted to screen capture that thing. It was sad and unsettling, but almost funny. Yeah. And you get to see the tenderness of some of these creatures that just look massive and like their entire life is just sitting on a rock or an ice floe and sunning themselves. But they're also taking care of their children. The footage they get above and below the water of, I believe it's a sea lion mother coaxing their child into the water for the first time. It's it's something I just never expected to be able to see. I mean, those are not just, hey, look, they're swimming. Oh, hey, they're out there sunning. Oh, maybe they're out there feeding or mating or whatever else. Yeah, we get a lot of that footage from a lot of documentaries, but some of these are special moments. Some of these are unique moments. They're not necessarily special to them. They're not necessarily built, making birthday cakes under the water or throwing surprise parties. It's when we compare it to what our own lives mean, like the day our child first walks or says their first word. These are milestones in the lives of these creatures that are the lives that are all too short in many cases. It's when you put a human face on a lot of what these things are, and it's really hard to put a human face on a lot of these alien creatures. Holy cow, it's really hard. But yeah, if you want to see real aliens, real looking, truly alien to humanity creatures that live on Earth or under the sea, this is the film to watch. I, again, highly recommend it. The music, by the way, is beautiful. It takes its time to just really, doesn't get in the way of what's going on, but it also knows when to go completely silent. And there's moments where it's not just about the visuals. They really focus on the sounds of the creatures. They kind of bump it up a little bit, and you can hear them breathing. You can hear the call, the weird noises that sea lions make or manatees or whatever. Just just things that you figure are much more majestic. No, they're goofy, and it's kind of great. Some of the more subtle sounds that come out of these creatures above and below the water. It's astounding. Again, I can't recommend it enough. If you're going to watch any nature documentary movie on Disney Plus, this is one of them. This is one of the best ones to get. Seriously. They do a great job. Let's pick tomorrow's episode. 7. Ooh, right toward the top. It's going to be an A? Yeah. Oh, it's another documentary, but a very different documentary than what we just saw here. This talks about the documentaries that are made by the crew at Pixar. This is a Spark story. They make the Spark shorts, different people within, I'll talk about it tomorrow. This is long enough. A Spark story is what we're watching next on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that. Bye.